Hello everyone, I am Dresden, and welcome to a BeamNG.drive test. So for this one we have 4 Ibishu Pessimas. These are the street tuned versions. One of the street tuned versions has been furthermore tuned to be an off-road tuned version. And we're going to test out what is the most difficult off-road terrain in the grid map. So let's get straight into it. So starting off here, we are taking the blue stock vehicle and testing out all the different ground terrains. Now there are these strips, and as you can see, makes it straight through the grass fine, and the sand makes it through fine. However, when it comes to the mud, it makes it most of the way through. However, it just gets stuck at the end. And of course, the water just completely kills it. Now, taking the off-road tuned one, you can see we make it straight through the mud without many issues at all. However, the water is still an issue for it and ends up killing it. Now onto the dirt path, and as you can see, the stock Pessima makes it all the way through just fine with a couple little dings on it. And it barely has any struggles getting through it along the way. Now the off-road tuned Pessima makes it through in a little bit better condition. Which in all is not much of a surprise considering it is off-road tuned. However, it did make it perfectly fine. Now onto the most difficult. Now this is a tunnel, and inside of said tunnel there are a bunch of rocks and rough terrain. So as you can see here, the stock Pessima makes it kind of far, makes it a little bit in, but it just gets stuck on the frame because of all the bumps and can't move much further. Now the off-road Pessima, on the other hand, does have a couple of issues getting through it. However, it completely makes it through it without much damage and doesn't actually do too bad. And of course, once it gets into the daylight, it has to get out of this little pit, which it easily manages. Now there is one slightly more difficult off-road section, and it is this. This is a climb for more off-road oriented, like rock crawler vehicles, and the Pessima did not really make it through there. So, out of all, the blue vehicle with the straight paths were the least difficult, and of course the cave was the most difficult, minus the rock wall. And most of the vehicles made it through with fairly minor damage, however the orange one had a bit more. But that's not all. We also have a trophy truck, and as you can see, it eats its way through all of the terrain strips fairly easily, including the mud one, which got our Pessima. However, the water, still being water, ends up drowning the vehicle. Now onto the dirt path, and as you could expect, it just eats away the terrain like nothing. making it through the whole thing with barely even a scratch. Now into our tunnel, and even though it is fairly large, it still manages to climb over any rock that it comes in contact with, and overall makes it to the end fairly easily. And of course, once it comes out of the cave into the light, it has to get out of the pit, and it does it with a wheelie, showing just how good it is. Now onto the rock wall, and again, as we saw with the Pessima, it is made more for a crawling vehicle and less a trophy truck, so the trophy truck cannot make it up it. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions on what I could test or other ideas on Beam, go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. And I hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. And until next time, this has been Dresden, and goodbye.